What up, what up, what up, tribe? How you guys doing? Happy Sunday. It's the beginning of a new week, a new and fresh week. So let's get into the things of the things of the things. Let me say hi to the people as you guys are coming in. I am sending out a tweet, honey, because I want the people to see this, okay? The people ain't seeing my stuff, but we're gonna make it happen. Um, I guess I have to get back to tweeting. I don't really tweet like I used to. I guess I got to get back to my tweeting ways. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's get into it. So let me say this. Let me hi to the people coming in. Hey, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. And drop a hey, how you doing to the people. So let me say this before we get started. And this review might come off a little testy. So for the people who don't know me that well, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. And for the people who know me, y'all know what it is, okay? Let me start off by saying this. If you are an Ashley hater that does not have critical thinking skills, this is probably not the review for you. This is probably not going to be the review. This is probably not going to be the place for you to enjoy yourself. And what I mean by that is this. I don't have a problem with whether you like Ashley or not. I ain't Ashley's friend. I don't know her. We ain't on speed dial. None of the above. But what I need y'all to have is some critical thinking skills. I have a low tolerance for people who do not have critical thinking skills. So the week before last, I did my review. And I said at the beginning of the review, everybody about to get it. I pointed out where I agreed or disagreed with Ashley, Joy, Jamie, Urena, Clifton, production, everybody. Everybody got it. In my review last week or the week before last, everybody got it. But it was funny to me how the only comments that people had something negative to say under my video were about, you just biased. You like Ashley. Ashley was wrong. Ashley. Y'all are so fixated on hating Ashley that y'all can't see the forest for the trees. And let's be clear, I said in my review that Joy was wrong for walking her ass back in that suite. I said in my review that I said Ashley was mad from the door and was doing a lot. I said in my review that I felt like Jamie should have intervened. I do think that Jamie should have intervened, because had that been Urena, had Clifton jump in Urena's face like that, it would have been a whole nother conversation. And I don't care what nobody say. I said that Clifton did lean in. They showed it on the camera. They showed it on the camera that Clifton leaned in that woman's face. And because y'all just hate Ashley so much, y'all can't see past that. So I say all that to say, if you exercise your critical thinking skills, this probably not going to be a place you're going to enjoy yourself. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So let's get into this review. Now, this is going to be a rant and review. It's already been a rant, my bad. But it's a rant and review because we are going to get into last night's episode. But I'm also going to discuss Winter and Ashley's review. They had a special guest last night, Color Me Pink. Shout out to Color Me Pink. And shout out to Terrence, who they shouted out last night. They shouted out Bondi. They shouted out who were some of the other bloggers they said they liked? Jamie. So shout out to all the bloggers that they said they liked their reviews. I wrote in the comments underneath, I said, I'm about to become Winter and Ashley's favorite blogger. I said that. I did. But shout out to them. What's up, CC Freak? Hey, boo. So, and don't forget the sassy comments. I'm tired. Yeah, I said that too, and I did say that. I said that last week too, that I didn't like the fact that Ashley made the sassy comments. I said all those things, right? So anyway, let's get into it. Also, Joy and Clifton did an interview with Carlos. I have not had a chance to watch all of it. I've watched enough of it to know that what I have been saying all season is what has to happen. Carlos King. I know you the queen. I mean, King, I mean no disrespect. I did not mean that in a disrespectful way. I know you are the king of reality TV, according to you. You are the self-proclaimed king of reality TV. And I do not understand how you, Carlos King, have allowed the show to get to where it is. You, because the buck stops with you, sir. I understand that you have a production company, but the same thing that you drag the Real Housewives of Potomac about week after week after week after week is the same thing that is happening on your own show. We're going to get into it. It was born and they were lying. They were lying. They were lying. And let me say this. Let's get into this review. Again, it's a rant, so I'm going to go left and I'm going to go right. You said it right the first time because the Love and Marriage franchise give. Oh, Tracy. Thank you, CC Freak. And I find it interesting that Carlos can come down here every week and blast Bravo and blast the Real Housewives of Potomac. And he has so much critique and so much criticism for the Real Housewives of Potomac, yet and still, it's happening on your own show. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to get into it. Miss Gigi said, hey, everyone, yeah, I don't like the controller Ashley leading them with the folded arms and a whole other thing, in my opinion. I just don't like her and her lies. And Miss Gigi, it's okay. I'm not here to tell nobody who they have to like or not like. I don't care. Like I said, Ashley is not my friend. And even if Ashley were my friend, Ashley's a grown-ass woman. She can handle whatever is coming her way. But I just have a problem with, I do a whole review and I criticize everybody. But because somebody is so full, that's why I stopped doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. That was my hesitation about doing Love and Marriage DC, because the fan base becomes so toxic that you take the fun out of it. I don't care about people having their favorites. We all have our favorites, even though I try to be balanced. There are people that y'all know I like on these shows that I watch. Y'all know there are people I like, but I try to be fair and balanced, even when those people are doing things that I disagree with. I try my best. But when I was doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, I couldn't say nothing about Melody. I could do a 20-minute rant about how horrible of a person Marceau was. Let me say I didn't like Melody's wig. What are you talking about? That was a custom-made wig and Melody, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, God dang. And when I say they would come for me, and so it got to the point where I was like, I want to feel like I'm reviewing a show and I can't say what I saw or give my opinion, because then everybody going, it takes the fun out of it for me. It just takes the fun out of it for me. So that's why I stopped doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. It just got to be too toxic. And I'm going to be honest with you, Carlos King, you need to do something. If this show is going to come back, and I'm going to be honest with you, after watching the review last night, after watching Ashley and Winter's review last night, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think the show should come back. I really think they should just bag it and keep it moving. First of all, they haven't even started filming for the next season. It's been a year. The reunion was in August. The reunion for this season was last August. They have not even started filming. I honestly don't think the show is coming back. I just don't think Carlos has had the conversation. But I really don't think the show is coming back. And if the show does come back, I'm going to get to that at the end. Let me get to this episode, and then let me finish getting to my critique at the end. Because the people are going to be like, it take her too long to get to the point. It take her too long. So let me get to this episode. I'm sorry. It's 10 minutes in. Fair is fair. You did criticize everyone, and we all can see the same thing and evaluate it differently. Here's what we agree to disagree. So be fair. Exactly, Miss Gigi. Exactly. Where's my girl, Ravine? Ravine might drop down in a minute. But my girl, Ravine, me and her, Ravine started watching me during season 5 of the Real Housewives of Potomac, and I don't think we agreed. I know me and SCK didn't agree, but guess what? It's been years, and they still here, and we disagree all the time, and it's okay. I'm not always right. I have my opinions. So the episode starts off. The ladies are still down to the seafood restaurant talking about this trip. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break the fourth wall. Here's why I'm going to break the fourth wall. I need to break the fourth wall because, again, I need y'all to understand why things happen the way they happen, because some of y'all act like y'all haven't been watching reality TV for 50 years and you don't understand the difference between certain things that have to happen in the way it's filmed. So I got to break the fourth wall. Okay. So here's the reality of the situation. This was a cash trip. We know damn well that all of them had to go on this trip. So even though Ashley was like, I ain't going, we knew Ashley ass was going. Okay. Even if we hadn't seen the previews, but Ashley going. They're ecstatic. The sound is bad, y'all. What's going on with my sound? My sound. Tay Bew said there's some sound. Oh, I love you too, Ravine. Let me know if it's some static in the sound. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna just keep going. It is static. Okay, I see two people saying static. I see one person saying sounds fine. Oh Lord, me and this sound. When only when I lean forward. Okay, so when I do like this, okay, so let me stay back. All right, let me try to step back, stay back. Or let me move the microphone over. Hold on. Let me do that. I moved the microphone further away. Let me know if that's better. All right. Sound for the most part is good. Hey, what's up, Ronnie? Your sound is dragging a little static in and out. Okay, I moved the microphone back, so let me know if that helped. Thank y'all for letting me know. Thank y'all for letting me know so I can adjust. Okay. All right. I moved it back and I'm sitting back. Maybe the microphone is just too close to me, or I need to turn the gain down again. But let me know. Okay. So, well, actually, let me check something else. No, that's still right. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right. So maybe I just needed to move the microphone away from me a little bit. I forget how powerful this microphone is, and I feel like I got to be close to it, but I realize I don't. Okay. So so Ashley is going, right? Ashley is going on the show. And I mean going on a trip. And we find out that Ashley was like, look, me and Joy need to have a conversation before we go. I feel like if me and Joy can sit down and have a conversation before we go on this trip, then maybe we can work some things out and maybe we could, make some things happen or whatever. So Ashley agrees to do that. And then she shows the text message that she got from Joy that she said sounded very clinical. It didn't even sound like Joy wrote it. It wasn't like, hey girl, I know we didn't, it's been some bullshit these last couple of weeks. Can we please sit down and talk and work these things out? And Ashley's opinion, the text message was very, very formal, and she just didn't feel like it was any sincerity in it. Now let me add a little bit to this, because again, sometimes we got to break the fourth wall for y'all to understand how some things look versus what was really happening. Let me break some stuff down for y'all. Okay. In the timeline, which for whatever reason the editing isn't picking it up, or whatever the reason is, in the timeline from what happened at Ashley's house at Christmas to the time they're eating this dinner and they're talking about going on this trip, there had been multiple, what's up, Star? There had been multiple occasions where Ashley and Joy were in the same vicinity. They were in the same place, including the photo shoot that, hold on, I'm gonna download that picture. Including this photo shoot where Joy did not acknowledge Ashley at all. She said she said that she had seen Ashley a couple of times when they weren't filming. And I mean, she had seen Joy a couple of times when they weren't filming, and Joy ignored her. Because remember, they stopped filming after the Christmas party. They stopped filming for a couple of weeks to take sort of like a Christmas break. And what ended up happening was, so that is part of the reason why Ashley said that she felt like it was fake and it was performative, because she was like, you weren't interested in having a conversation with me, and you weren't interested in us trying to work things out until the camera started rolling again. So again, sometimes we got to put certain things in perspective, because things get edited out and we lose the perspective in the things being edited out. The other thing that came up, but did Ashley acknowledge Joy? Now, I don't know. And that's a fair question, Natty. Natty, that's a fair question. I don't know. But what she's saying was if Joy was interested in okay, baby. Thank you, Miss Gigi. Um, right. She said whenever the cameras run around, Joy ignored them. Now let me give y'all an example, and you guys have probably heard this example before, but let me give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. And again, this isn't me capping for Ashley. This is me giving you guys a perspective. Because let me say this. Maybe I'm capping for Ashley a little bit, and let me explain to you why. For whatever reason, I think production is given a certain edit. And I'm gonna talk about that when I get to the end of this about what I think Carlos should or should not do. Production is given a certain edit, and it is clear to me that the edit is anti-Ashley. Now, maybe not to y'all, maybe y'all don't feel that way, but in my opinion, to me, it is a very anti-Ashley edit. Because when you hear some of the things that were happening and what was edited out, some of this stuff you go, okay. Like last week when we found out that Winter and Urana had a whole Twitter beef, and they had a whole conversation about it at the dinner table before they even talked about the trip or talked about Joy, yet none of that was talked about. All of that was edited out. So like Ashley keeps saying, there are more storylines that are going on other than me and Joy. They're making everything about me and Joy, me and Joy, me and Joy, when we've got whole other storylines that they're not even scratching the surface of. But I'm gonna get back to production because honestly, in my opinion, I think Carlos needs to fire the production company. But we'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end. Okay. So this photo shoot right here that I use for my cover shoot. This is the ladies of Ready to Love. I mean, Married to Medicine, right? You see, this is a photo shoot. All of them are here. It is the ladies of Married to Medicine. All of the ladies that are on the show. This was Ashley's photo shoot. It wasn't filmed for the show, but it was Ashley's photo shoot where you see all the ladies are there, right? At this photo shoot, even though it was Ashley's photo shoot, Joy did not speak to Ashley the entire time, the entirety of this photo shoot. Joy did not speak to Ashley. Okay. She didn't speak to Ashley and she didn't speak to Sherelle. Didn't speak to either one of them the whole day, right? Now, when Joy went to post this picture, all of the ladies posted their pictures on their social media. When Joy posted her picture on social media, she airbrushed out certain people. When Joy posted it, she airbrushed out the two people at the end, Sherelle and Alicia. I'm bringing that up because, again, I don't think anything that the other people do shows us anything. I don't think that, I think that it's a one-sided edit. I think that Ashley and Quick want that to be the couple and most aren't feeling them. I agree. I do think a lot of people aren't feeling Ashley and Quick. I agree with that. And I understand in some instances, I understand why. In other instances, I don't. In some instances, I get it. But I think a lot of it is the edit. I'm be honest with you. Blame it on the edit. I think a lot of it, and again, as I talk, I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. So again, for example, remember when Ashley and Urena met up at Milk and Honey to talk about the aftermath of the Christmas party, and Ashley was like, you chose a side, you chose a side. The way that was edited, it made it look like, because I even said it in my review. If you go back to my review, I said the same thing. I said, okay, come on now, Ashley. Like, I think you're being unfair. Urena was in the middle. She had two friends that were arguing. She went out to check on Joy, and she came in to check on you. I don't see what the problem is. I think you're doing too much. I said that. But now that I have more information, I have a different opinion. And let me tell you the information I got, which changed my opinion. The information that I got was Urena knew Joy was coming, and Urena did not tell Ashley. Ashley was under the impression that Joy was not coming to the party. And when Joy showed up at the party, Urena pretended like she didn't know. Urena said, "Is that Joy? Joy If you go back and you watch it, Urana is acting surprised. Yet Urana knew Joy was coming. Urana didn't tell Ashley because Joy originally said she was not coming to the party. So Ashley did not know Joy was coming to the party. The other thing we find out is, so when Ashley is talking to Urana at dinner or breakfast, lunch, wherever they were at Milk and Honey, that's what Ashley is talking about. When Ashley says you chose a side, that's what she means when she says you chose a side. She said you knew Joy was coming. And not only did you not tell me she was coming, when she showed up, you was faking like, what is that, Joy? So the aunt made it seem like Ashley was like, you chose the side because you went and talked to her first. She was like, no, it was more to it, but they didn't tell it. They didn't put all of that in, right? The other thing is, they made it seem like Joy walked in the door and then all of a sudden Ashley was just like, she ain't speak to me. She ain't speak to me. They said Joy had been in the house like 15, 20 minutes. So again, it might seem petty in hindsight, but in the moment, here's a woman who you don't see it for, right? She said she wasn't coming, and then she came, and she didn't even give the courtesy of saying, hey girl, Merry Christmas. You all up in my house, you all walking up and through my house. You've been here 15, 20 minutes. And I don't even get a hey, how you doing? A hey, hello. So again, I'm not saying that anybody has to agree or disagree. I'm saying that when more information is given, there's a different perspective. Now, let me finish going over this episode. See, I feel like I'm breaking down the show without going through the episode. But they're grown. You choose sides in elementary school. I agree. Again, I agree. I think that they are choosing sides. I do think they're choosing sides. I think this, listen, not a thing. This show is very divided. This cast, I should say. People have absolutely chosen sides. Absolutely. And that's part of the problem with the show. Joy says she spoke to Ashley. Okay. So again, I'm not saying Ashley's perspective is right. I'm giving you Ashley's perspective. So, because I wasn't at the party. I wasn't there. So I don't know who spoke to who. I personally wouldn't have. Let me say this. I'm not Ashley. I've had parties at my house where people come in and I don't even know they're there. I don't know how long they've been there. So I don't know. So I don't think I would have responded the same way that Ashley responded because that's not my personality. So it wouldn't have bothered me the way it's clearly bothered Ashley. So, that makes a difference too. So we see everybody getting ready for this trip. Here's how you know this trip is going to be a problem. You know the trip is going to be a problem because don't nobody want to go. Winter is the host. I put that in air quotes because y'all already know how this goes. Winter is the host. She ain't excited. We see Urana and Jamie packing. They not excited. We see Quick and Ashley packing. They not excited. You know what I'm saying? That is how you know this trip is going to be a whole shit show. All right. Now, we see Clifton and Joy. Can I say something that y'all ain't gonna like? Let me tell y'all something. For those of y'all who know me, I reviewed that season of Ready to Love. And I loved Joy. I was rocking with Joy. I even defended Joy down to the reunion when a lot of people turned on Joy at the reunion because they ain't like the way Joy acted at the reunion. And I was rocking for Joy. I defended Joy. I thought Joy and Clifton were cute. I followed Clifton on social media. I followed Joy on social media. I thought it was cute when they started posting and he was flying down to Mexico and all of that stuff. I remember when he picked her up from the airport when she finally came back for good. Listen, I was here for all of that. But is it me? Or do they not seem to have any chemistry on camera? And I'm not saying that they don't have chemistry in real life. Because, I saw them go through their love journey. I think it's real. Don't get me wrong. I ain't going to sit here and say that their love ain't real. But is it me? Or does it seem like They don't have no chemistry on camera. So we sat down, we watched him talk about his beard oil. Is it in the market? Can people buy that beard oil yet? I know some people with some beards that I might have to buy me some. Melly said never did. If you ask, okay, boo. So let me say this. Right. All of their one-on-one scenes are forced. All of their one-on-one scenes seem very forced. They don't seem comfortable with each other. Like Urana and Jamie, when they're being themselves, when they're letting their guard down, because sometimes Urana and Jamie are acting. And I've already told y'all that. That's my opinion. Y'all ain't got to agree with me. Moving on. But you can tell that they been married forever and they just whatever. Like you've been around married couples that are just whatever, and then you've been around, they just don't. So we have this whole scene, and here is where after this scene, this is when I said, okay, Carlos, you're going to need to do one of two things, in my opinion. And I know Carlos don't have no reason to listen to me, Lord knows. Either you need to A, get rid of Joy and Clifton, or B, get a new production company. Because here's my problem. Why are Joy and Clifton allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to do? They're the reason why this show sucks. Why are Joy and Cliff allowed to do whatever they want to do? Joy doesn't want to film with the Duncans, so we haven't seen the Duncans. Joy refuses to film with the Duncans, and as a result, they have iced out the Duncans, effectively iced the Duncans out of the show. Number two, Joy and Clifton agree to go on the trip, but they will not, but they don't want to stay at the house where everybody else is staying. And when I was listening to Ashley and Winter's review, basically they were going to pick and choose what activities they chose to be a part of while they were on the couple's trip. I don't understand how they got to be. Nothing happened that would give them that dictation. That's not the word I'm looking for. Nothing happened that would allow them to dictate that. When I say nothing happened, we've seen reality shows where there have been physical altercations and people are like, well, I don't want to film with that person because me and that person got into a physical altercation. But Ashley and Joy, y'all were in each other's face. Nobody hit the other one. They broke it up and it was what it was. Y'all have been around each other. I mean, even after the situation at the suite, in my opinion, either production should have made them sit down and have a sit-down conversation before they went on the trip, or all of y'all stand in this house and we're gonna handle it however we're gonna handle it. Because when Ashley said, okay, I'll sit down and talk to Joy before we leave because I think we need to have a conversation before we leave. What they said on the review last night was that didn't happen because they basically, Ashley and Winter couldn't link up their schedules. Ashley and Joy schedules couldn't link up. And so it never happened. So I'm saying, to me, that should have been a mandatory conversation. That should have been mandatory. Hell, they had Melody and Martell stand in the same house in fucking Vegas. If anybody had some clout and some leverage to say, no, I'm not going to do it, it could have been Melody. Hold on a second, y'all. This is my mama, and I know what she's going to tell me. Hold on. I stole all her kisses. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. That was my mama calling me. Look, my nephew, me, my mom, and my nephew play this thing where I take all of her kisses. So when I see him, and I get him to kiss me, and I say, oh, I'm taking all of grandma's kisses. So my nephew was just over here, and then they went over my mother's house. So I knew that's why she was calling me. She was calling me about her kisses. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. So I don't understand. Like I said, you had Melody and Martell who had a whole divorce, and there were all sorts of accusations going on between the two of them, and y'all made them sit in the same. If anybody had the right to say, I'll come, but I need my own accommodations, it could have been Melody Holt. Now, y'all know I don't give Melody a lot, but on that one, I'm going to give it to Melody. The fact that she stayed at the house in Vegas and filmed at that house in Vegas, I'm going to give it to her. So how the hell does Joy have a right to say what she is or is not going to do? See, that is when I said, okay, now Carlos, that's the problem. Because whoever, and that's why I say he either need to fire Joy and Clifton or he need to get a new production company. Because why did the production company allow this? They allowed it all season. They have allowed Joy and Clifton to dictate everything they will or won't do. Who are y'all? This is the ensemble cast. None of y'all are bigger than the other ones. Just because I came from another show, that don't mean nothing. It's the same damn network. And let's be clear, based on the ratings, y'all ain't want no extra ratings onto this show. Y'all haven't boosted up Love and Marriage DC. Oh my gosh, Clifton and Joy's on the show. Maybe for the first couple of episodes. When they first came on, you got some Ready to Love people to come over there. But let's be clear, most of the Ready to Love people already watch this. I mean, come on. Most of the Ready to Love people already watched the show. So you didn't really bring them nothing. With that being said, so we get on the trip. Joy and Clifton don't have to ride down with everybody else. They get to drive their own car, which means they can leave whenever they want to leave. They got to stay at a different place, which means they can come and go as they want to come and go. I don't think Ashley and Quick think they run the show. I don't agree with that, Natty. I mean, I don't see that perspective. I don't feel like they run the show. I think, knowing what I know now, I think they want everybody to be held accountable the same way. So if you're filming a show and you have to film with everybody, anytime, any place, whatever the call sheet says, then in my opinion, I think they want the same. I think they want Joy to be held accountable, just like Ashley's held accountable, just like Winter's held accountable. They want Joy to have to show up, just like the rest of them have to show up. I don't think they think they run the show. I think they feel like you're not making them do the same thing we're doing. Ashley is very bossy, and I think that's her personality. Ashley is very bossy. Ashley, and I know people hate it when I say it, but Ashley is just Baltimore. She's so Baltimore, but she's very abrasive. And again, I'm not saying that Ashley is right in every instance by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that. But I just think there's some perspective to some of the things that are happening. Some behind the scenes information, child. They said that bus kept breaking down and they were like 3 hours late leaving. And then the bus broke down while they were on their way down to Deep Creek. And I was right last week when I said they probably went down to Deep Creek because, Lord, that's where they were. They was a Deep Creek. Everybody in the DC area that went down to Deep Creek and rented one of them houses down to the Deep Creek and had a good little weekend, girls weekend, birthday weekend, whatever. We done all went down to Deep Creek. It's about 2.5 hours down the road. And so it took them, about 6 hours to go 2.5 hours, which is a part of the reason why a lot of them was just kind of over it when they got there. They had a whole sex conversation on the way down. Honestly, I don't care. They were talking about who eats what and who doesn't do this. And then towards the end, they were playing Truth or Dare. And somebody asked Ashley, do you really, I think it was Jamie asked Ashley, no, it was Urena. Do you really not like the Petties? And Ashley was like, yeah, I don't like Clifton. And so Urena was like, okay, so you like Joy, but you don't like Clifton. She was like, I think she said something like, I don't like the way Joy acts or something like that. So then Ashley asked Sherelle, do you not like the Petties? And Sherelle was like, I don't like the lies. Because remember, if we go all the way back to the beginning of this whole storyline with the blacks, I mean, with Sherelle and Black, the Duncans and Joy, they were part of a band. She accused Black of doing some underhanded stuff as far as the band was concerned, yada, yada, yada. To be honest, we really never resolved that issue. So I don't know who telling the truth and who lying. I mean, do I think that maybe there was some shady stuff that went down? Probably. Y'all know when it comes to the music industry, I'm always going to side the producer. I'm always going to side out a record label. So if Black was the producer and some shady stuff went down, maybe some shady stuff did go down. I don't know. But what I also know is they were all young. They were all trying to figure it out. And maybe there's a conversation that could be had that they could clear it up. I don't know. But we've basically abandoned that whole storyline. So whatever. She did tell Urana that she didn't like the fact that Urana called her husband shady, that she didn't really like it. She didn't appreciate it. And so that was kind of the conversation on the bus. I don't know. Hold on a second. Natty says Ashley was the same way last year and Joy wasn't there. And that's what I'm saying. And that is why I'm saying all of this ain't because of Joy. I agree with y'all on that. Like I said, I'm not here to defend everything about Ashley, but I do think that Ashley is getting a certain edit. Now, is Ashley making it easy for them to give her that edit? Yeah. Yep. She's making it very easy to get the edit. But do I think she's getting a certain edit? I do. Now, people can say whether it's fair or not, but she is getting a certain edit, and it's she's making it easy for them. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, and that's why when I get to the end and I give our whole breakdown. So, Black basically was like, listen, at this point, I don't have a problem with Joy, but I'm really done with this whole situation. I'm done with this conversation. I'm done talking about it. Which I can understand. I mean, Black is still very much a producer. He's still very much in the industry. And I can understand him not wanting to continue to rehash something that he already said he was willing to talk to Joy about. He was willing to have the conversation. So I don't know. And again, I don't know the experience. I wasn't there. He may very well have done some shiesty shit to Joy. He may very well have done that. Carlos said himself that that's part of the reason why he cast the Duncans, because he did find out about their history with Joy. And I do think that was supposed to be a major storyline. But Joy was allowed to not film. She was allowed to not interact with these people. If part of the reason why I hired you was to do something and you refuse to do it, then it seems to me like I don't need you here. If part of the reason why Joy and Clifton were hired is because of Joy's history with the Duncans, and they thought that would be a great storyline for season 2, and 3 episodes in, Joy decides that she ain't gonna film with Sherelle no more, and she's allowed to not do it, that's not a Joy problem. That's a production problem. I mean, CC Free, what you want me to say? Sherelle has showed us that she is a hair person and she don't really care. That's why the Duncans weren't at the suite. Yeah. Well, production told, because Ashley asked for the Duncans and production said no. So that's what I'm saying. Production, for whatever reason, production is in on this. So anyway, we get to the house, and of course, like I said, it took them 6 hours to take a 2-hour trip. So everybody was tired, irritated, ready to do whatever. We get there, we find out that everybody got to share a bathroom except for Winter and her man. I find that to be, I'm not under. Now, Winter said that they looked at so many houses and she didn't realize that the house they picked was that particular floor plan. Now, I'm going to say this. As somebody who has done the Airbnb thing, you do look at 500 different houses, and sometimes the things do blend together, right? At a certain point, things do start to blend together, and you were like, dang, this the house? No, but here's the thing. First of all, girl, we know you ain't get that house. We know production did. So it wasn't, you might have came up with some choices, but production made the final decision. Let's be clear. And number two, when you do that, when you are looking for an Airbnb and you do go through so many Airbnbs, you have to kind of refresh your memory, right? You kind of have to refresh your memory, because I did that this summer. I'm getting an Airbnb this summer for my birthday. And y'all looked at so many damn houses. I honestly had to walk away for a day. Airbnb has this great thing where you can create a folder. You can mark your favorites. And I literally had to go away for like 24 hours and come back. And then I had to just eliminate stuff. And then I had to come back. Like, sometimes you got to do it that way. Now, I don't know how in the hell y'all ended up in a house with 4 or 5 bedrooms and only one communal bathroom. That don't even make no sense. All these grown folk. Anyway, but they only there for the weekend, child. They'll be all right. Remember they were going to play a game for the rooms, but they got there too late, right? And then they did end up playing a game, but I actually said that was edited out. And I can understand why that might have been edited out. I mean, it was just a game, child. It probably won't. The game on the bus with the sex was probably more interesting, you know. So we see them running around the house, and that was all cute, yada yada yada, woo woo woo. They have a chef there cooking dinner, so we see everybody sitting down for dinner. And Joy and Clifton are late because you heard Ashley say, Winter say in her confessional, we're hungry, and we were trying to basically wait on the patties, but they're not here yet, and we don't know if they're coming, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. We see that the patties check into their little hotel. Now listen. Where was that place they checked them people into? They don't have I never stayed at a hotel down in the Deep Creek area, so I honestly don't know what options they have. But they have a Hilton. They have an A-Law. Marriott. I don't know what that hotel was giving them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that hotel was giving, but okay. And then we have another awkward scene of Joy and Clifton talking about how they're gonna try to get through this weekend and all this good stuff. They pull out a Bible like they're gonna pray on it. Child, it was just, again, every scene with them is just awkward. It's so awkward. And what that says to me is that y'all are too busy thinking instead of just being comfortable with who, like, in y'all's relationship. It was giving Howard Johnson. It does look like maybe an old Howard Johnson that somebody bought and converted. It does. Okay. If you want your own accommodations, you need to pay for it yourself. Oh, they paid for that? Oh, maybe that's what it was then, Ronnie. They paid for that hotel. Because word on the... I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to say that. Okay. Because that ain't my business. Then we see them coming to the house. They do finally get the house while they're eating dinner. We see them coming to the house, and again, something was edited out that might have put some things in perspective. So we saw them come in. They said Clifton spoke to Jamie and Urena. He did not speak to Sherelle. He spoke to Black, and then he sat down. Then after he sat down, he got up and said, oh, I guess I need to speak to Quick. And that saw him come around, speak to Quick, and Quick was like, yeah, nah, we ain't doing that. Because he literally had ignored Quick and Ashley, sat down like he was getting ready to eat, and then got back up. And Ashley said that was edited out. So it made it look like Cliff went around the table speaking to everybody, and when he got to Quick was like, nah, man, No, he had already sat down and didn't speak to Quick, and then he got back up, and that was edited out. And that's why I'm saying I believe they're trying to edit this a certain way, you guys. And again, I'm not saying that Ashley and Quick are innocent. I'm not saying that either, but it is clear to me that there's an edit that they want to give. There's a slant that they want to give us. Now, I will say this. Jamie and Urena did an interview and said that they want the old Winter back because they said that Winter is basically up Ashley's butt and she's trying to be friends with Ashley just to keep her space on the show. And they want the Winter from first season back, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to say this. If y'all really want to see Winter go off, y'all go watch Winter and Ashley's review from last night. It is long. It's 2 hours long. I was listening to it when I went to the nail salon. You can probably skip through to where you see Winter start doing all the talking. That's when Winter's going off. I don't have a timestamp, but you could probably fast forward probably a good 30 to 45 minutes. But baby, when I tell you once Winter starts going off, from that point forward, baby, Winter is going off. Winter is going off. Hey, another round. What's up, boo? Even with the edit, Clifton was getting back from the box greeting they received. That could be true. That could be true. You can't edit a bitch. Ashley was the same before Joy got there, and she's worse because the main girl is gone. Now they have shown Joy speaking to Ashley, and Ashley didn't speak. But they have shown Joy speaking to Ashley. Ashley didn't speak. They have shown that. Where to find the interview? I couldn't find it on CMP. It's on Ashley's YouTube channel. Go to Ashley. I think it's called Ashley. What's her YouTube channel called? Hold on. I want to say it's just Ashley Silver, but let me find it. Yeah. If you just go to it's Ashley Brittany Silver. That's her YouTube channel. Ashley Brittany, there it is right there. So let me say this. Here's how I feel about the situation. Carlos, I'm just going to be honest. At this point, I really think you just need to cancel the show. It's clear that I don't know what's going on between Carlos and the network and this show, but it is clear that this show is there's something going on with this show. I don't know what it is, y'all. I don't have that answer, but there is something going on with this show and OWN. And the reason why I say that is because of this. For them to go a whole year before we done had 2 seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We had a season of Love and Marriage Detroit before we got part 2 of Love and Marriage DC. They filmed the reunion in August. It is March. They have not started filming. Ashley said they stopped filming at the end of last March, which means it will be almost a year for them to film. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but something is. Now, if it's ratings, then just say the show is being canceled because the ratings are low. Something is happening. This is my opinion. I don't know this to be a fact. Now, I heard a rumor. Tracy was trying to hunt it down for me because some of these rumors, we got to hunt these rumors down. But there was a rumor that there was a lawsuit behind the scenes. Now, my opinion on that was that maybe there was something going on the executive level that needed to be resolved. We know that none of the cast is suing them, so we know that. What up, T? Shout out to T. You got a shout out on Ashley and Winter's review last night. Winter said she loves your review. She said she loved when you call Urena Lady E, honey. She couldn't remember your name, but you know the people in the chat told her who you was, honey. Carlos will never admit to bad ratings. But let me say, Love and Marriage DC's ratings can't be no worse than Love and Marriage Detroit, and Love and Marriage Detroit got a second season. Like, I'm sorry. I don't, and at this point, if the ratings are bad, you honestly can't blame us as the viewers. It took y'all a year. We are literally looking at shit that happened last February. It is March. And I know that with reality TV is always a delay. We're always looking at stuff that happened 5-6 months ago. I get that. But there is no reason for this delay. And so I honestly feel like there is something. I don't know what it is. But if Carlos does bring this show back for season 3 or 4, whatever the fuck we want, Carlos, you either need to A, fire the production company that you have working, or B, you need to get rid of Joy and Clifton. That's my opinion, and I know some of y'all not going to agree with that. Let me say this. For as much as y'all hate Ashley, it's like the Giselle of the show, or the Kenya of the show, or the Teresa Giudice of the show. There has to be somebody for y'all to hate. There has to be somebody for y'all to hate. So for the people that hate Ashley, if there is no Ashley, what is the show? As much as y'all hate her. So we gotta have somebody that is going to evoke those feelings. We have to. Jamie and Urena, fine. Let me tell you, I do think that Joy and Clifton are the problem. And let me tell you why I think Joy and Clifton are the problem. I think Joy and Clifton are the problem because of the grace and because of the privilege that they have been given in filming this last season. So what I mean by that is this. The fact that you have allowed Joy and Clifton to dictate everybody's storyline. You brought the Duncans on for a reason, yet you allowed Joy to ice them out. Joy literally would say, I'm not coming if they're going to be there. Or if they were there, if Sherelle or Black were invited, Joy just didn't show up. Joy picked and choose what she wanted to film. You can't, that's the same thing I've been saying about the Real Housewives of Potomac. You can't do that in an ensemble show. You cannot allow people to dictate who they're going to film with. So when you allow Joy to just pick and choose who she was going to film with, you changed the whole trajectory of the show, because part of the story was supposed to be about the Duncans and Joy resolving whatever issue they had, right? We don't know nothing about the Duncans. We have not seen them film a scene since, I think, probably the podcast or whatever. So that's part of the reason why I say I think Joy and Clifton are the problem, right? Then let's just call a thing a thing. Joy and Clifton joined the show under false pretenses. And I know a lot of people do too. But we know for a fact that Joy and Clifton getting on the show was a totally orchestrated situation. Them seeking out and befriending the Tylers was orchestrated and calculated. Them not telling the truth about their marriage was calculated. Joy's whole storyline was supposed to be about her planning this wedding. And when Ashley told her secret, it blew her whole storyline out of the water. So now Joy's whole story now has become about Ashley. What would Joy's storyline have been if Ashley had never told the secret? If Ashley had never told that Joy and Clifton were married, what would their storyline be? Cliff's beard oil? Joy trying to plan this wedding? Notice, ever since Ashley outed the marriage, we ain't heard nothing else about a wedding. We ain't seen her talk about no wedding. We ain't nothing. We ain't heard nothing else about this wedding that they were supposed to have. That was her whole storyline. Her and Urena was going, they was going to dress fittings, and she was talking about locations and venues. Here's the thing, just because y'all are already married, don't mean y'all can't still have a wedding. We know people do it all the time. So why is this wedding that you were planning, why have we heard nothing about that? It's been a year. Y'all still ain't had a wedding that we know of. So if it wasn't your storyline for the show, what was it really about? What would Ashley's storyline be? Ashley wrote her book. Ashley's been talking about her mental health. Ashley has her podcast. Ashley has filmed other scenes that they have edited out. Yeah, Ashley got other stuff going on. And again, I'm not saying that makes Ashley perfect or that makes Ashley right. What I'm saying is because I was answering the question about why I think that Joy and Clifton are the problem. Now, do I think Joy and Clifton could make good TV and stay on the show? Yes. But they're not going to be able to stay on the show if they're going to be under this same production company that has allowed them to dictate the entire storyline of the season. Her relationship with her mom, absolutely. That was a great story. They did cut some of Ashley's scenes. I believe that too. I mean, listen, editing is editing. We know that. We get that every season about the edit. We get that. But I also think that some of the things that were edited to make people look a certain way, to push a certain storyline. And I think that this production company, just like the production company for the Real Housewives of Potomac, I think that Carlos, the same way Carlos got all this smoke for Real Housewives of Potomac and production surrounding Real Housewives of Potomac, he need to sweep in his own backyard. Because the same shit that you talk about happening in the Real Housewives of Potomac is happening right in your own backyard on your own show. People being allowed to not film with each other. That is happening on your show, Carlos. You'll be real quick to talk about Wendy not filming with Nneka, and Candace not filming with Giselle, and Robin. You'll be real quick to talk about who doesn't film with who on Potomac, and how production allows this and production is doing this. It's the exact same shit happening on your show. The exact same. So I find it so interesting that you got so much smoke and so much advice for the Real Housewives of Potomac, and was it Pop? What's the production company, Purveyor, not Purveyor, Pop? Who are the reality? Who are the people that do Potomac? But you got so much to say about them. It's the same shit. It is the exact same thing that's happening. And again, whether you like Urena and Jamie, or whether you like any of these people one way or the other, it's just so interesting to me that it's truly original. Thank you. It's the same shit. So somebody got to go from that show. Again, I think that Joy and Cliff would leave if they were not allowed. I don't think Joy and Clifton would have stayed had they been forced to film, just like everybody else got to film. Do I find it interesting that Andy is going on a press tour with Wendy and Candace? No. I don't. No. I really ain't even paid attention to it, so I don't know. Winter came on my channel at the beginning of the season and shared it, the breakup. Yeah. Winter said that, yeah. Right. They need to be forced to film. So that's why I say, when I say that Joy and Clifton are the problem, Joy and Clifton, because here's the reality of the situation, regardless of whether you think, because I personally think that Urena and Jamie sometimes produce their own scenes, but they film and they show up. Right? They have the hard conversations. They have they do what needs to be done. I feel the same way about Ashley and Quick. You don't have to like Ashley and Quick, but they show up, they film, they have the hard conversations. Joy gets to pick and choose when she's going to film. And hell, sometimes she picks and chooses how long she's going to film. Remember when she came to Winners of Emancipation? She was there 10 minutes. Now, she said she had another gig. She said she had to, had band rehearsal or whatever. But again, like, ma'am, I'm sorry, you were here 10 minutes. Everything they do for the show and storyline, they have a show to do. We have to relax with the storyline narrative. They all do it. But there's a difference between I am allowing you to film what I have going on versus I am creating something for you to film. That's two different things. So I'm going to give you an example. Ashley and her mother's relationship is real. That's real. They're not manufacturing that. They are allowing the cameras to film it. They're having the conversations on camera, but they didn't create this friction for a storyline. They're using it as a storyline, which is different from, we're going to pretend like we're planning a wedding for our storyline. You are making something up, because here's the reality. If y'all were really planning on having a wedding, you would have had the wedding. But the fact that the minute Ashley outed the fact that y'all were already legally married, we never heard nothing else about no wedding, tells me that that was a manufactured storyline. That to me, that's the difference. Another friend said, every other scene, Joy reminds us that she don't need to be there. So I say, don't give her the space to someone that understands it and wants to be. I agree. I agree 100%. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, I personally, either OWN doesn't want to continue the show, and Carlos is either trying to convince them, or he just hasn't had the conversation with the cast yet, or B, I don't even know what a B is. Maybe Carlos could have supported the wedding as well. She not thinking clear enough for me. It's something that man runs me the wrong way. Oh, what man waste speeds? What man you talking about, yeah? Because they claim Giselle is icing Wendy and Candace out, but she got second seat at the reunion. Do you think Joy was trying to get a wedding special? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How do I know what's true? Waste bees by Brie. What? How do I know what's true? Tell me what you mean. I'll answer it. Do you think Joy? Oh, I just said that. Joy acts like she's too good for the show. She does. Ashley and Warner brought that up on the show. So how do we know that that's true? That they don't have to film? Because we see it. What you mean? How do we know it's not true? We see it. You see it on the show. Maybe I don't understand your question. You mean Joy? How do we know Joy doesn't have to film? Because we see it. I mean, we saw it on the trip. Joy, the only way Joy and Clifton agreed to go on the trip was if they could drive down and if they had separate accommodations. We literally see it. So let me say this. I said that a couple of weeks ago. I'll repeat this. I said this a couple of weeks ago because maybe I didn't see my review a couple of weeks ago. But let's talk about this whole Ready to Love wedding situation. So Carmen, who is not friends with Joy and Clifton any longer, Carmen has basically been the one to come out and let it be known that she was working with Clifton and Joy to create enough buzz, for lack of a better word, because they were absolutely trying to get a wedding special. Here's what I know to be a fact. Ashley did what on purpose? What did Ashley do on purpose, Brie? Tell me what told her about the wedding? Oh yeah, I told y'all that a long time ago. Listen, I'm not here to defend everything Ashley does. I said that when Ashley did it, and I've said it many times. Absolutely, Ashley did that shit on purpose. And she knew what she was doing. She did it to be petty. She absolutely did. She knew exactly what she was doing. Now I don't think she understood it was gonna be the long-term effects of it, but she absolutely did it on purpose. Absolutely. All right. So with that being said, I know for a fact, I'm telling y'all what I know. Y'all know when I say I know things for a fact, I'm telling you what I know. I know for a fact that the Ready to Love producers do keep in touch with the couples, right? When people hook up after the show, whether they, like in the case of Simone and Rashid, they hooked up after the show was over. They didn't leave the show together, but production kept in touch with them. I know for a fact that production reached out to Rashid and said, listen, when are you going to propose? And he was like, whoa, we're not there yet. I ain't really ready. But when I'm ready to propose, I will let you know. When Rashid was ready to propose to Simone, he let production know. And as you can see, they incorporated it into the show. If you guys watch Ready to Love, you know that last season, that was when I went to Houston for the party. It was for that episode where we saw it was their engagement party, and we watched on the show when Rashid proposed to Simone on the show. That was totally orchestrated with Rashid in production. He told them, "I'm ready to propose. I'm going to do it," and they were like, "You want to do it on the show?" And Rashid said, "Let's make it happen." They flew to Miami. Rashid flew Simone's family to Miami. Boo boo boo. I know that production has kept in touch with other couples, Joy and Cliff being one of them. That's my point, Waste Bees by Bree. That is my whole point. You said that's my confusion. How can Joy have that power? That's my whole point. She shouldn't, and the fact that she does is a problem. But let me finish saying this, and then because I'm going to wrap this up because the episode's over. I know if, according to Carmen, production did the same thing with Joy and Clifton. Listen, let us know when y'all are ready. They were in talks, yada, yada, yada. Now, Rashid did talk to the show about doing a wedding special. They did not commit to anything. Didn't even sound like they were really interested in doing it. I think they probably weren't sure that people were really interested in seeing a wedding special with Simone and Rashid. I do know that Simone and Rashid hired their own production company, and they were kind of doing their own wedding special that they were going to put on their YouTube channel on their membership. But of course, we know they broke up. All that shit, went out the window. Carmen said that was what Joy and Cliff were trying to do. They were trying to create enough buzz so that they could get a wedding special. That is what, now again, that don't mean Carmen is telling the truth. I'm just telling you what Carmen said. Do I think there's some validity to it? Yes. Because I do know that the Ready to Love production keeps in touch with their couples. And maybe maybe they're going to try to put together a special with all of the different couples. Like, I don't know, but maybe maybe they don't think that one couple had enough buzz to carry a whole special. Like, I don't know, but I do know that production keeps in touch with their couples, right? Joy trusted Ashley, thinking she would not say that on TV. Yeah, she did, and she shouldn't have, because Ashley absolutely. But here's the other thing too. Ashley was wrong for saying it, but Joy, it sounds like you told everybody, because Urena knew, Joy knew. I mean, Ashley knew, somebody else knew. Not Winter. Winter didn't know. Well, of course, Carmen knew. Maybe Carmen is the person I'm talking about. But girl, do you know a secret is only good as long as you don't tell nobody? So again, I'm not saying that Ashley was right, because she was wrong, but that's what it sounds like. A wedding special produced by Love and Marriage. Right. And that's the other thing too. Worst case scenario, they get married on the show, and the show pays for a lot of it. Now, I don't think Carlos's budget is the same as a Real Housewives budget, where they do pay for a lot of people's weddings and stuff. I don't think the budget is the same, but they probably would have picked up a little something. Have any other cast members said that about Joy, or is that just coming from Ashley and Winter? Carmen said it. Sherelle said it. But again, either you believe it or you don't. The show is the cast is divided. If you don't want to believe what Ashley and Winter are saying, it's nothing. But yes, other people have said it. Black is the person that makes me feel, seeing him, something's not right with him. I don't think we've seen enough of him to know one way or the other. But I mean, I think Ready to Love's ratings are about the same as Real Housewives. I mean, not Real Housewives. Oh, wait a minute. I think Ready to Love's ratings are about the same as Love and Marriage. Not DC, but maybe Love and Marriage, Huntsville, maybe. I don't know. I don't think their ratings are as good as they used to be. Joy didn't want a big wedding, no way, so she sabotaged herself, telling them ladies and was probably hoping ladies would talk. Ooh, now that is a perspective. Another round. That is a good perspective. I definitely don't think Joy wanted no big wedding. I don't. I don't think Joy wants to be on the show. I honestly don't. I really do not think Joy cares about being on this show. I don't think she cares. I think other people probably wanted her to do this. I don't think, and I think Joy cares even less now than she did then. But honestly, I don't think Joy wants to do it. I don't think Joy wants to be on this show. I don't think she cares about this show. I think that she just wants to live in her love bubble with Clifton and live happily ever after. I honestly do, y'all. I really don't. I think if Joy never saw another camera, she would be happy. I really do. I really, really do. Clifton wants to be on the show. Joy doesn't. I don't think she wants to be married. No, I think she wanted to marry Cliff. No, I think she did want that. But I don't think she cares about this show. I didn't know Clifton had been married 3 times, though. That I did not know. Child. Maybe it's interesting. Like, you would think that somebody's been married 3 times wouldn't care about a wedding and stuff. But anyway, who knows? All right, y'all. Let me get off of here. But anyway, that is my 2 cents. Y'all can go check out Winter and Ashley's review. You guys can check out the interview with Carlos. All of those things were referenced, so y'all go check it out. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah!